Okay, so in this video, I'm going to, I guess, be talking about some possible paranormal stories that I have, but like, I don't know. I guess they're kind of possibly paranormal. I don't know, but I guess you can say in the comments if you want to. But the first one, I guess I'm going to go with is I guess I'll go with the whatever one. So one time when I was like, I don't know, I want to say around like maybe 10 or something, but like I don't remember exactly what age I was, but I was kind of a smallish child, not really that small of a child, but like kind of in the middle-ish there. But yeah, I was going to go to sleep, and so, I turn the light off, go over to my bed, and to go lay down. And so I get on my bed, whatever, to lay down. And then all of a sudden, I hear this sound that's coming from, like, kind of like the floor area. It's like a few feet away, or like maybe a foot away, or something like that, somewhere, like, kind of over-ish on the floor. And it sounded like maybe a grown man breathing, and I immediately got up and like turned the light on, and there's nothing there. And I was just like, what the fuck? Like, what would have made that sound? Like, I didn't really have anything that would have made a sound that sounded like breathing like that. So I don't know what the fuck it was. Like, it couldn't have been me, 'cause like, you know, I was a child and I'm not gonna sound like a grown man at that time, so it's like I'm not. But also it's like this was like on the floor a few feet away from me or a foot away from me or so or however far away. And it's like I was up on my bed, so like I'm kind of just like, what the fuck was that? I'm still just like, what the hell? But yeah, that's kind of whatever. Like, these stories are gonna be kind of short. That's why I kind of put them all in the same video. But yeah, so anyways, the next one also is kind of, I guess, I don't know. It's kind of like, it could have just been an electrical thing, like electricity thing, but it's still kind of weird because I never had it happen. Like, I don't think I have ever had it really happen before, other than that. I mean, maybe I had it happen another time, maybe, but like, so, I mean, okay, so PS3s, they have the button where you actually have to like push it down to turn it on. And like, the PS4 has it where you can like basically just put your finger on it very lightly and like basically brush over it and it'll turn on. But like with the PS3, you actually have to like press that shit down to turn it on. You can't just like gently rub your finger over it, whatever. Like, can't have your finger just brush over it and it turns on. Like, no, you have to push that shit down. So like, I was just like, I kind of walked by it and then I sat down and all of a sudden the PS3 turned on its own. But of course, with PlayStations, sometimes you can, if there's a controller that is connected to it, you can press the controller button. There's like that middle button on the controller, and it'll turn the controller on. And if it's connected to a PlayStation, it'll turn the PlayStation on too. But I didn't touch a controller. I checked if anyone else touched a controller. No one touched a controller. No one pressed anything. No one touched anything. So I'm kind of just like, electricity issue, or like, people always say ghosts and stuff can mess with electricity and electronics and stuff, and so I'm kind of just like, what the fuck? So like, the PS3 turned on its own for some reason, I guess. um I think I've had the PS4 turn on by itself, but again with that it's kind of like, sometimes if something touches it very lightly, it'll turn on. So you know, I don't know about the PS4, but the PS3, it's like, what the fuck? Like, why would it turn on its own? That doesn't make any sense. That's weird, but yeah. Anyways, next one, I guess number three. Um, I guess I'll go with the one that's not as like convincing, I guess. But I was, obviously by myself. No one else was around. No one else was in the building because, sometimes you just end up with no one else around and no one else in the building and whatever. That happens sometimes and, that, like, of course, like, sometimes, people live alone and stuff too. So, like, so it's not that weird to be in a building all by yourself and whatever. So, yeah, I was all alone, no one else around, just whatever, doing the usual shit. And, there's obviously like stairs and stuff. And so I was like in the upstairs level and I was in the hallway. And all of a sudden I hear what sounds like footsteps at like the bottom of where the stairs are. And it's like, what the fuck? It sounded like the footsteps were going down that like little walkway area where you get from one room to the other. Like, 'cause like the stairs go down one way and then you end up in like the one area, the one room, and then you gotta go down like whatever path there to get to the other like main rooms and stuff. And so it's like it sounded like footsteps going by the stairs to the other room. It's like, it would make sense to hear someone walking from the one area to go to the other rooms because the other rooms are more like main rooms where you actually like hang out and do stuff and whatever. And so it's just like, why did it like I get like, building could be settling and stuff, but it's still kind of just like weird that it sounded like footsteps. Like, usually when you are in a building and you hear it settling, it doesn't sound like footsteps. Like, I know what a building settling sounds like. Like, you got the weird little creaks. Like, usually I hear them, like, on the walls or on the ceiling where it's like the building is settling and, like, chilling and whatever. Also, like, there's no wind or anything. Like, I know what wind sounds like. Usually it's a very specific sound that would be like buildings settling or wind blowing. Like, those are very specific sounds. And then someone walking is also a very specific sound. Like, it literally sounded like a person walking. So it's just like, what the fuck? Why did it sound like that? I don't know. What the fuck? But yeah, the next one is kind of similar to that, and this one's the last one that I have. And it's kind of similar where it sounds like walking, and it's like, no one else is there, no one, like this was at like 3, 4 a.m. So even if there is, you know, even if there's people with me, like they're sleeping. So it's like 3, 4 a.m. Everyone else is either just like no one's there or sleeping or whatever. And it's just like I'm like I didn't have any headphones on or anything. I was just standing there. I was gonna go down to like I was gonna go get food and whatever and do whatever shit to have food because I needed to go get food. And so I was standing there with headphones off and I was like on my phone doing whatever because I needed to do whatever first and then I was just gonna go get food. But then all of a sudden I was standing there for a little while, but then all of a sudden I hear walking down the hallway and usually if anyone else was there, I would have heard like a door open or something. But also the direction it came from, the spot that the footsteps came from, there was like it wasn't a area where someone would have been anyways. Like, it didn't make sense to where, because, like, where there's other rooms where people would have stayed, like, whatever, like, the area that the footsteps came from, that wasn't a room that people stayed in usually. Like, so it's like, even if there's people there with me, like, they wouldn't have come from that spot or area or whatever. So it's like, and the footsteps sounded like they were right next to my door, and it stopped at my door. I didn't hear anything else after the footsteps stopped at my door. Like, it literally sounded like a person. There's no, like, it didn't sound like any animals or anything else or whatever. Like, there's no animals that would have, whatever. Like, they wouldn't have sounded like that anyways. So it's just like, I don't know what the fuck. Like, hello. So I was kind of scared to open my door and go get food. So I kind of, like, didn't want to go out there. But it's just like, what would have sounded like that? Because, like, also it's like the house settling, like, or the building settling or whatever. Like, building settlings do not sound like that. It does not sound like that. So it's just like, what the fuck? I do not understand. Like, why? Why did it sound like that? It sounded like a person walking. Like, what else could it be? I don't know. And that's why I'm kind of just like, is it a ghost? Like, gotta make that kind of joke and whatever. But yeah, so, anyways, I guess that's all I have. I don't really have any others. I can't remember any other ones that I would have had. So, I guess that's kind of it for this video. So, yeah, I guess by then, I guess tell me what you think in the comments if you want to. But yeah, anyways, I guess bye.